Annis Hag, a delightfully horrid creature that stalks the harshest wilds, corrupts the minds of the innocent, torments the weakest among us, which is, of course, all completely wretched, just terrible. Which means that the Annis is the perfect creature with which to torment your dearest adventuring companions. But all in the name of fun. Obviously. The Annis Hag looks as cruel and barbaric as she behaves. Gaze here upon her monstrous form, her bruise-colored flesh, tough as leather and durable as plate mail. Despite the boulder-like hunch in her back, she stands an imposing 7 to 8 feet tall. I've heard tale of some who surpass even that impressive height. And she is strong, known to crush her enemies with the force of her unusually long arms. Imagine being able to hug someone to the point of death. Adventurers in the lands of Fairy will find it nearly impossible to locate iron of any kind, but should they be truly desperate fools, they could find it in the hands of the Annis Hag. Literally. Her nails and teeth are made of the stuff, sharp as blades, and, if not well maintained, prone to rust. More terrible still, she can grow these nails into corkscrews to leave particularly brutal circular wounds. But the Annis does not limit herself to this, her most basic form. She is known to modify herself, either through physical or magical means, or both. She may remove her own hands, replacing them with the stitched-on hands of a troll she slew. Or, in one particularly cruel instance, attach her own coven to her back, a brilliant form of trapping and controlling her sisters while still enjoying all the magical benefits of a coven. She has also been known to magically disguise herself, appearing as a regular human woman, an ogress, or occasionally a bear. Adaptable, isn't she? Unhappy adventurers may stumble across an Annis in a number of regions. In the mountains, on hillsides, in ruins, caverns, caves, decaying marshes, or swamps. Some caves she digs out herself with her strong arms and razored talons. One should beware if they find themselves in such a place, gazing upon strange leathers hanging about on trees or laid out on stone, for this hag does love to decorate herself and her home with the tanned flesh of her slain, leaving these signs about in the hopes others will find them and spread their fear of her in that region. Other signs, too, may mark the presence of this hag. Black, corroding smoke, sourceless, haunting laughter, paths made dangerous by avalanches, and, on occasion, the presence of undead, likely born of the remains of the hag's victims, often skeletons or specters. In open ears, everyone, if they pay close enough attention, would-be victims may have just enough time to run and hide when they hear the sound of her grinding teeth. But note, this hag could appear just about anywhere. She's been known to lair in some unusual places. One tale tells of an Annis living in the cellars of a castle, where a passage underground led out from that place and into the hillsides that she'd haunt by night. I hear you asking, but what does she do? Well, primarily hunt children and consume their flesh, but should discussing her violence towards the young feel a bit intense for the company you keep, this hag also has been known to treat lambs in much the same way, snatching them up instead. Of course, the Annis does have a number of other interests and engagements with which she may fill her time. Leatherworking, for instance, which is often connected to the previously mentioned activities, but really, when it comes to children, rather than maim, the Annis even more loves to corrupt. In a disguised form, she will approach a child, gifting it with an iron token formed from one of her teeth or nails, polished to appear something delightful and shiny, like a coin or a tiny mirror. She tells this child that they can whisper to this token, and if the hag is within 10 miles, she can whisper back. Only they can hear one another this way. None can eavesdrop. It's through this that the Annis Hag corrupts the child, encouraging evil thoughts and progressively more evil deeds. The unfortunate child may start by shirking their chores, stealing a measly coin from their mother's purse, but soon they may set a fire, leave a sharp object where it really shouldn't be. Eventually, their community grows to fear them, then isolate, potentially even exile the miserable creature. Should that happen, perhaps the cruelest thing the hag can do is sever her magical connection with the token, leaving the poor thing really, truly alone. At the heart of it all, Annis Hags love power. I spoke of the one who controlled her own coven by magically attaching them to her back. Should one Annis enter into a coven with another, a rare occurrence, the one constantly suspects the other, who is most certainly plotting against the first and vice versa. More commonly, the Annis will form a coven with other types of hags, who sometimes enter into the agreement willingly, but more often find themselves tricked or forced into the deal, overpowered or outplayed by the craftier, more vicious Annis. She has also been known to rule over groups of trolls or ogres, controlling them by sowing seeds of superstition and suspicion amongst them, or by using her great capacity for verbal abuse, or, should the need arise, her equal or superior physical strength. This hag loves to mistreat the weak, but all the more does she seek to prove herself and bolster her own ego by showing her superior strength over those who are also strong. So you're playing your silly game of dragons and dungeons with your companions, seeking to utilize this hag to her fullest potential. Here's my advice. If the Annis suspects a threat against her power in a region, she will cause mass destruction to be rid of it. This could mean that, if a party of adventurers has torn through a number of powerful beasts, made their name in the land where the Annis resides, she could pursue their deaths before they even have a chance to hunt her. Alternatively, she may lie in wait, preparing for their inevitable arrival. This also means that, if adventurers hear of a dangerous, likely intelligent monster wreaking havoc in a region, and travel there to defeat it, only to find it already killed, there may be an Annis about, one who felt herself threatened by the creature and who decided to dispatch it herself. They should check the defeated thing for those circular wounds from her corkscrew claws. Should she find herself in combat with multiple creatures, the Annis prefers to divide and conquer, splitting parties if she can, rather than fighting them all at once. This may be achieved with a well-timed magical disguise, but when an encounter comes to direct blows, magic tends to fall by the wayside. Unlike most hags, the Annis prefers brutal physical attacks over magical ones. She really is quite unique, this one. Perhaps you would like to include the Annis Hag in one of your games, but aren't sure how. Since I'm so terribly generous, here's a few ideas based off either the stories of others or my own personal experiences. An Annis Hag lives in the cellars of a castle. At night, she crawls out of a long-forgotten tunnel and onto a nearby hillside where she terrorizes the local township. Perhaps the king or lord of that castle has gone mad and believes her to be his daughter. Maybe she is. Begotten by the king and another hag who once came to him in disguise. What a glorious drama that would be! A local community has been terrorized by ongoing, unpredictable arson. Little do they know that one of their own children is to blame, trapped in the throes of this hag's corrupting influence. A group of ogres or trolls has begun attacking a community and has recently kidnapped a number of villagers or sheep. Usually, this group sticks to the mountains, with only the occasional threat on the people who live nearby, but now their behavior has become terribly aggressive. But why? Well, because an Annis recently took control of the group, obviously. I mean, really, try to keep up. Hags tend to be incorrigible liars, and finding accurate information about them is quite difficult. So, if you've watched this video, you do owe me a like, and if you have not subscribed yet, one of those as well. If you've already subscribed and can only like the video, your debts do remain unpaid. This was not easy information to gather. You owe me now. I will come to you to collect my payment soon, and let me be clear, you will pay. Toodaloo.